There are all kinds of bed frames on the market, ranging from less than $100 all the way up to several thousand. But do you know the difference? Are cheap bed frames really just junk? Are expensive ones worth the money? Or are you just paying for the brand? Are you sleeping on a rickety bed? If so, have you ever spent the whole night awake because of the noise? What are some things you should consider when buying a bed frame? If you've been struggling with any of these questions, you definitely need to watch this video. We've been researching adjustable beds for years, and recently we've expanded our business into traditional beds. We visited many suppliers and brands and talked to many experts, and we finally produced bed frames that we believe offer great value. Today, I'm going to share all our knowledge with you. First, let's take a look at wooden bed frames, which are the most popular choice for master bedrooms. When it comes to materials, wooden bed frames can be categorized into solid wood and particle board, and they often can look almost identical. So before making a purchase, confirm with the seller whether it's particle board or solid wood, as quality between the two types can be vastly different. Now let's examine the difference between solid wood and particle board. In terms of craftsmanship, particle board uses a lot of glue during its production, whereas solid wood doesn't require much glue, making it more environmentally friendly and less likely to emit TVOCs. Additionally, since particle board is made from wood scraps, you can clearly see that its density is much lower than that of solid wood. This means that solid wood is stronger and has more resistance to bending, making it more suitable to make heavy-duty furniture like bed frames for long-term use. However, not all solid wood is the same, which is why different solid wood bed frames vary in price. The price of wood often relates to its growth time. For some woods, like walnut, it can take about 50 years to mature, while rubber wood can be ready in just about 10 years. This type of wood is often called fast-growing wood, which is great for a furniture material. Because of its fast-growing nature, it's usually cheaper and more sustainable. But does lower price mean lower quality? Quality should be linked to the wood's strength and durability. The better the mechanical properties of the wood, the better the quality, especially when it comes to bed frames, as they need to support the weight of 2 adults. From a mechanical perspective, wood can be classified into 2 types, softwood and hardwood. As the name suggests, hardwoods are tougher, stronger, and more resistant to bending, making them suitable for heavy-duty furniture like bed frames and tabletops. On the other hand, softwoods are not as strong, and thus are not ideal for bed frames. However, some brands may think that as long as it's solid wood, they can trick consumers by using softwood as the main material, allowing them to cut costs on raw materials. So it's crucial to differentiate between hardwoods and softwoods. For example, we use rubber wood, which is a hardwood. But it's certainly not the best hardwood out there. There are many hardwoods that are better, but rubber wood has sufficient strength for our needs. We find that using a stronger hardwood isn't necessary, as these stronger hardwoods often have a growth period of over 50 years, making them expensive and less sustainable. We also often see some brands using pine wood, which is actually a softwood. Its strength isn't particularly suitable for being the main material for bed frames. Now that we've talked about bed frame materials, let's take a look at the bed frame structure. While the material ensures the strength of the bed, the structure guarantees its stability and silence. Nobody wants to sleep on a bed that creaks and sways all night. This means that even if your bed is made from the most expensive wood, it could still be wobbly and noisy. Let's take a look at what exactly a bed frame is made of, shall we? Typically, bed frames consist of 4 interconnected wooden boards that form the bed's perimeter. Beneath the perimeter are typically 4 or more bed legs, and within the perimeter, there are many slats for support, which might also be reinforced with beams underneath. If we closely examine how the perimeter is connected, we can uncover the secret behind a bed's creaking and instability. Common bed frame perimeters are connected with screws, which don't provide particularly strong connections between the 2 boards. When we move on the bed, there is some play between the boards, leading to that wobbly feeling. Additionally, we should note that wood expands and contracts with temperature changes. When these tiny movements happen, the screws can loosen, further worsening the bed's wobbliness. A better connecting method is the Japanese joinery technique, which achieves a very strong connection through tight-fitting joints. It's as if several pieces of wood are twisted together. Moreover, when expansion and contraction occur, the wood will move together, keeping the joints tight. Of course, this structure also has additional benefits, like easier assembly. You might only need about 10 minutes to put it together, and it usually doesn't require other tools, unlike some bed frames that come with dozens of screws, which you have to install. If you're moving, This type of bed frame is also easy to disassemble and won't damage the frame, unlike screw-connected frames, which may not hold up as well after being taken apart and reassembled. Now, let's talk about the slats. There's a lot to consider here, focusing on two key points. First, the connection method between the slats and the perimeter, and second, the gaps between the slats. A bed frame's creaking doesn't just come from the instability of its perimeter. It also comes from the impact and friction between the slats and the perimeter. Some brands try to eliminate the friction noise by wrapping the contact points with fabric, but you'll find there's another kind of sound. The sound from the impact between the slats and the perimeter, or beams, is particularly noticeable when you get into the bed. While it might not disturb you while you're sleeping, that noise is still unpleasant. The best way to eliminate that sound is to secure the slats to the perimeter, just like we do, using Velcro to eliminate both the impact and friction sounds. We also should talk about the gaps between the slats. This is important because when we place the mattress on top, if the gaps are too wide, the mattress will be suspended over a large area, which can damage it. This issue applies to both foam and hybrid mattresses, so the gaps shouldn't be too big. However, the gaps can't be too small either, as you'll want some ventilation. There are indeed bed frames that provide solid support, but believe me, you end up feeling hot sleeping on those. Let's also look at something not every bed frame has: cross beams. Their purpose is to provide better support. Cross beams, together with our Japanese joinery structure for the perimeter and our properly spaced slats, creates this bed frame that can support up to 1,200 pounds. Talk about offering exceptional strength. While it's rare in daily life to need a bed frame that can hold this much, such a high weight capacity signifies a robust structure that is built to last. All right, that's about all we've got for basic knowledge about wooden bed frames today. I hope this information helps you find a good bed at a reasonable price. Hey, speaking of which, you might want to check out our bed frames, which offer a real bang for your buck. If you have any questions or topics you want to learn about, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll see you in the next video.